Hello overclockers and welcome to this week's episode of Overclockers News Weekly. This is where we bring you the latest gaming and tech news. This week I'm going to be talking about new product releases, upcoming games and why Valve is launching a Gnome into space. Let's get into it. Kicking the video off with the gaming chapter, our first story is about Godfall, which is soon going to be released and you're going to need a pretty powerful gaming PC to run it. This looter slasher melee action RPG has been developed by Counterplay Games and published by Gearbox Publishing, ready for release on November the 12th. To prepare gamers for release, the official specifications were announced over on Twitter and the beautiful graphics and effects do come at a cost. The minimum specifications require an AMD Ryzen 5 1600 or Intel Core i5 6800 CPU. You'll also need 12GB of RAM and an AMD Radeon RX 580 or NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 GPU. For recommended specifications, you should play with at least an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 or Intel Core i7 8700, 60GB of RAM and a Radeon RX 5700 XT or NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti. Those of you that are going to be upgrading to an RX 6000 series graphics card will be able to experience DirectX ray trace shadows, Fidelity FX contrast and adaptive sharpening. There was no mention of what sort of performance we can expect from these specifications at the time, but over on Reddit, a Godfall community manager clarified that the recommended specs are meant for high settings at 60fps and 1080p. You're going to need a GPU with a lot more punch for 1440p or 4K, which makes sense why Godfall has been heavily promoted alongside AMD's new RX 6000 series. The standard edition of the game is available for $49.99 and you'll get some bonus digital content if you decide to pre-order it now. The next story is that League of Legends is coming to consoles. Sort of. Riot Forge is Riot Games' spin-off publishing label and they've just announced more details and a pretty cool trailer showing off the brand new League of Legends story game titled Ruin King. This single-player, turn-based tactical RPG is set in the League of Legends universe with familiar characters like Miss Fortune, Iliao, Braum, Yasuo, Ahri and Pyke. Airship Syndicate, who previously worked on Darksiders Genesis, are developing the game and it's set for release in early 2021. You'll be able to play on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Steam and the Epic Games Store at launch, with next-gen console versions arriving shortly after. League of Legends was one of the games that got me into PCs, and although I've not visited Summoner's Rift in years, this looks to be a promising new game that utilises the familiar lore and champions. It will be great to play as characters like Braum without relying on matchmaking to have a good time. Moving on to the next story, which is that WoW Shadowlands has got an official release date. Blizzard's next World of Warcraft expansion was due for release during October, but was delayed to allow the developers more time to overhaul the combat and rewards, polish the endgame and rework the Covenant system. The delay hasn't harmed sales and World of Warcraft Shadowlands has the highest amount of pre-orders than any other expansion to date. We now know that the pre-launch event will be kicking off on November the 10th and the Shadowlands expansion will release on the 23rd of November. This just so happens to be the same launch date as Vanilla WoW all the way back in 2004. The announcement of the first raid was also included in the statement and Castle Nathria will open on December the 8th. I think it's going to be a very busy holiday season for World of Warcraft players. To round up the gaming chapter of the news this week, let me ask you, what will you be doing around November the 15th? How about watching a gnome get blasted into space thanks to Gabe Newell? Newell is working with Weta Workshop, who manufactured the high-tech Gnome, and Rocket Lab, a small satellite launch company, to send the Gnome to sit amongst the stars before it burns up on re-entry. Gnome Chompski originally formed part of a difficult achievement in Half-Life 2, and now he'll get the chance to go into space for real. Gnome Chompski will help test and qualify a novel 3D printing technique while also raising money for charity. Newell will be donating $1 to the Starship Children's Hospital for every person who watches the launch livestream, so make sure that you tune in. You can watch the stream over on the Rocket Lab website, which will be linked in the description below. Moving on to the hardware chapter of the news, our first story is that Intel has officially announced its 11th gen Rocket Lake S processors. These brand new processors aren't due until 2021, but after months of rumours, Intel has finally played its hand before the launch of AMD Ryzen 5000. Rocket Lake S comes with brand new Cypress Cove architecture featuring Lake Core architecture and Tiger Lake graphics architecture. That's a lot of words that probably don't mean that much to the average user, but the main improvements are an increase in IPC, PCIe Gen 4 support, brand new Xe graphics, and an increase in officially supported DDR4 speeds. The range features CPUs with up to 8 cores and 16 threads, and there will also be brand new 500 series motherboards. However, 400 series motherboards will still support Rocket Lake S. We'll likely have to wait until next year to learn more, but it's great to know that new CPUs are on the way and you can start planning your upgrade path right now. The next hardware story this week is also about CPUs, and if you're looking to upgrade your PC or even build a PC, now is the perfect time with some huge titles like Cyberpunk, Shadowlands and Call of Duty just around the corner. AMD has really stepped up its game this year, and after 2 big hardware announcements last month, I'm sure many of you are planning a Ryzen or Radeon powered build. From November the 5th, you can now get your hands on a brand new Zen 2 Ryzen 5000 processor, and they are fully compatible with X570 and B550 motherboards, making this a very easy upgrade for some of you. With incredible single core performance, they are perfect for this year's most demanding games, and pricing starts at under £300. If you're looking to take advantage of AMD's new Smart Access memory feature, you'll be able to buy the RX 6800 and RX 6800 XT from November the 18th, with the flagship RX 6900 XT arriving on December the 8th. This means if you're planning a Team Red powered build, Smart Access memory allows you to unlock up to 11% more performance while gaming. The final story this week is all about Black Friday, and Overclockers UK launched Black Friday early last week, and now I'm giving you a friendly reminder to check out this week's deals. New deals will be added every Monday on everything from laptops to peripherals, so there's great savings for everyone. You can beat the rush, save money while staying safe and shopping online. Some of the best savings include 30% off a stunning super fast IPS 1440p 144Hz LG gaming monitor, 26% off the Fantex Eclipse P360X PC case, and 23% off WD's performance-focused Black 1TB SN750 M.2 NVMe drive. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Overclockers News Weekly. Let me know if you'll be watching Gnome Chompski blast into space soon. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, and also press the bell icon so you don't miss next week's episode. I'll see you then.